hello. Welcome to Kingdom Inspired Kidz Podcast, where parents talk. So, if you're watching us live, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much. I really appreciate that you are watching this replay, and I hope it really helps. All right, so let's get into the meat of things. Today, we are talking about graduation, preparing to attend a graduation. It's graduation season right now. So we've got graduations from kindergarten to college. So we want them a nursing school, cosmetology school, barber school. There's graduations happening everywhere. So we want to talk about, I want to really discuss preparing to attend graduation. So preparing for graduation is exciting for the person that's graduating and their family, but it's also exciting when you're invited to a graduation. The first thing you want to do when you're invited to a graduation is put that date down on your calendar. Mark the date on your calendar. And the closer you get to graduation, I would say about 2 days out, make sure that you look at the weather. Or you can even start a week out. Make sure that you look at the weather because you are going to need to know exactly what outfit to put on so that you're comfortable with the weather at this graduation. So the first thing is, make yourself some notes here. The first thing is you want to make sure that you check the weather. After you write the date on your calendar, check the weather. Once you check the weather, the second thing you're going to need to do is find your outfit. So we have to get ourselves ready, but we also have to get our children or our teens have to get ready. So what you want to do is, if they're old enough to pick out their outfit, let them pick out their outfit. If not, you pick out their outfit, let them try it on, make sure they're comfortable in the outfit, and then we want to start accessorizing. So we want to pick out the accessories that they are going to be wearing. Shoes, because how many of you know we don't like to wear shoes that are uncomfortable, especially when we're going to be doing a lot of walking. So we want to make sure that our children are in comfortable shoes, in a nice outfit that fits and they're comfortable and they can move around in it. And then we want to pick their accessories. So once you've done all of that, my suggestion is let them try it on with everything on, all of their accessories, as well as their shoes and their outfit. Let them walk around about 5 minutes and see how that feels. And then that way we know, as parents, we know exactly what they're wearing, and we have all their shoes and accessories together, and that kid or that teenager is comfortable. The next thing you're going to want to do is arrive early at this graduation. If a graduation starts at 12 noon, so that your child or your teenager is not overstimulated, sometimes we need to arrive a couple of hours early. So where, someone else might arrive at graduation that starts at 12 noon, they might arrive at 11 o'clock. Let's leave 2 hours early. Go ahead, make plans to leave 2 hours early. 2 hours early. That way you can get to the venue or to the Coliseum or football field or wherever that graduation is. You can get there in enough time that you've got a great parking spot and you don't have to rush. You're not rushing your kid, your teenager, and you're not rushing yourself. Because sometimes when we're rushing, that can get our kids even more worked up. And we don't want to do that. So we want to make sure that we leave early enough to get there. We get a great parking spot and we have time to walk at a steady pace, and we're not rushing, trying to get there and get seated. Once you get to the graduation, go ahead and find you a great seat. a great seat where you can see everything. You've got options because you're there early. You can find your great seat. That way your kid is comfortable. And for me, if it were me, I would try and sit in a coliseum or at a football field. I would, or at any venue, I would try to sit as close to the front as I can. That way, if you're at the front, you don't have all the noise that's going on behind you. And that, because sometimes that can overstimulate a person. So we want to make sure that you're there early, great parking spot, walking at a steady pace, not rushing, not running. Pick out your great seat. Make sure that you can take good pictures where you're located. And then just make sure that you guys are comfortable before the graduation starts. Now, the other thing that I would do, I would prepare. I would prepare by, if my child is a child that I know that by 12 o'clock, if I got there at 10, by 12 o'clock noon, I know that my child's already starving. I've got a snack in the bag. I've already got a snack in the bag. If it's a place that you can take snacks into, some graduation ceremonies you can take snacks in. So that would be something that you could do. You could put that in your purse so that, if when your kid gets hungry or they're asking for a snack, you can have it. Or if you're at a location that has a concession stand, or you can go and buy snacks, what you can do is, instead of taking your child or your teen out of their seat to go and do that, you could actually send an older kid, or you could go yourself and they could stay with another adult while you're going to the concession stand to get whatever snack it is that you need. Go ahead and do that. And then if your kid needs to go to the restroom, now that's a different subject. So if your kid needs to go to the restroom, what I want you to do is go ahead. You've already gotten your seats. Go ahead and take your kid to the restroom first before the ceremony starts. Everybody should pretty much be in their seats. If that graduation starts at noon, everyone should pretty much be in their seats by about 10 minutes to 12. So go ahead and take your child to the bathroom, to the restroom. Once you're done in the restroom, then you can grab your snacks or whatever, and then you can make it back down to your seat. That way your child is not having to maneuver through all of the people and the noise that's behind them while people are trying to get seated and things like that. That way everybody is pretty much seated. Now, for me, I don't like crowds, but if I've got to go to the concession stand, I'm going to the concession stand and I'm taking whatever kid it is with me, whether it be my niece, my nephew, my daughter, whoever it is. I'm going to go ahead and take them with me so that they can get their snacks, use the restroom, get their snacks, and we can get back and sit down. Now, during this graduation ceremony, kids with ADHD and ADD, sometimes they're fidgety and they're moving around. Make sure that you brought some kind of toy or fidgeter or something that they can keep busy so that it's not overwhelming them. They're not overstimulated. They're not restless and things like that. So go ahead and maybe 2 hours into this graduation, it kind of depends on how many people are graduating. So if you got, 525, 550 people graduating, you're going to be there for a little while. You just want to make sure that you're prepared. So the first thing I said you need to do is you need to check the weather. After you write that on the write it on your calendar, check the weather. Then I want you to go ahead and pick out your outfit based on what the weather's supposed to do. I want you to plan to arrive 2 hours early at this graduation. The fourth thing I want you to do is make sure that you get those kids, once you're situated, you're sitting down and you're situated. I want to make sure that before the graduation starts, you take them to the restroom, you get their snack, and you're back in your seat. You've already planned because you've already bought something, an iPad, a tablet, some earphones or something like that, a fidgeter, something that they can use if they start to get restless. But this way, you've already gotten them up. You've gotten them on the move. They've gone to the restroom. They've gone to the concession stand, and you're back. So they did get to move around a little bit, because we as adults, sometimes we get restless, right? It's not just the kids. We get restless too. So I want you to do those 4 things. And then throughout the graduation, if your kid is a kid or your teenager is a teenager that's going to need to go back to the restroom, let's go ahead and prepare to go to the restroom and get back before the person that's graduating's name is called. So I was at a graduation, like I said, this past weekend, and there was a lot of movement. The graduation was packed. There were thousands of people there. But when I went to the restroom, I went before the graduation was over, but it wasn't it wasn't in the middle of the graduation. I kind of went about 3/4 of the way through. That way I could go to the restroom when it wasn't a lot of people moving around, and then I could get back to my seat. So if your child or teen needs to go to the restroom before that graduation is over, about 30, 45 minutes before graduation is over, ask them, hey son, hey daughter, do you need to go to the restroom? That way you can go ahead and get them to the restroom and you're back before the crowd starts really, really moving. Okay, next thing I want you to do. I want you to think about, after graduation, is this graduation going to be a graduation where you're allowed to, if it's at a football field, go onto the field? If it is in a venue, are you able to go to the stage? Are you able to hang around with all the graduates afterwards? So you got to think about those things. That way, you're making a plan so you know exactly what you need to do. So the graduation that I attended was actually at a football field. And so what we did was we sat close to the bottom of the stands, the bleachers, and then when graduation was over, we were able to immediately get to the field, get our pictures, and then we were able to leave. When we left, we navigated our way around through the outside of the crowd so that we weren't walking through the middle of it, because I myself get overwhelmed with crowds. So that's something you want to take into consideration when you are getting ready to leave this graduation. Now, if this graduation is, let's say the last name was M, their last name was M. So, and you don't want to stay for the whole entire graduation, you just wanted to see them get their diploma, go ahead and leave after they've called that name, last name M. Go ahead and leave. That way you've given yourself some time, and your children or your child, your teen, some time, so that they're not having to walk through the crowds of people when they leave. Because I can just tell you, leaving a graduation that had that many people, there were thousands of people there. So it was really, really crowded. So you want to make sure, if it's not a graduation, that you're staying for the whole entire ceremony. Go ahead and, after that last name is called, make plans to leave, so you're not having to take your kids through all of that. That's a lot to have to navigate through. There's a lot of people. So make sure that you go ahead and leave early if possible, if that's something that you want to do. And if it's not something that you want to do, make sure that when you picked out that amazing seat, that you picked out a seat that was close enough, if you were going onto the field or you're going onto the stage or you're going to be hanging out, make sure that you're close enough that you don't have to go through the crowds of people. And then once you leave the graduation, you're done for the evening. So just take those necessary steps. I hope this helps, so that your children or your teens are able to really, really plan and enjoy graduation. You can get there early. You're prepared for it. You know when it is. You wrote it on your calendar. You picked out your outfit and accessories. You tried it on. It felt great. They walked around in it for about 5 minutes at the house. Then you got to the graduation early, 2 hours early, picked out that amazing seat. You went to the restroom, you got your snacks before graduation started, and your kid doesn't have to navigate through all of that, the crowd of people. You prepared them a snack, if they need it. If not, you picked up their snack at the concession stand before graduation started. And then once graduation, if you're there for the whole entire time, you know that you're sitting close enough to get to that field, quick, get your pictures and navigate your way out, or that stage so that you can navigate your way out. And then if not, you are leaving once that name is called, the person that you went to see, once their name is called. And that way your children or your teen and yourself, you're not having to navigate through those crowds of people. Now, listen, this should make your graduation preparation a little bit easier and a little bit more fun so that you and your family, your children, your teen, you all can enjoy the whole graduation and it's not a struggle getting ready. All right, guys. So I just want to say, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope this is something that helps. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel. And I hope to see you guys really, really soon.